A 5-day-old TikTok trend, over 150,000 followers, and now claims of animal sacrifice, hallucinated entities, and blood rituals. All started by one girl who says it was just a joke. Today, we unravel how a self-proclaimed silly cult blew up into what critics now call the most dangerous TikTok trend of the year, and why the truth might be weirder than fiction. What would it take for a roleplay to go too far? Let me know. Do creators owe responsibility for what fans do, even if it started as a joke? It started with one post. Gigi Jarvis, an otherwise average user, looked into her front-facing camera and said the now infamous words, "I'm starting a cult and you're all invited." It was quirky, it was unserious. Her pitch? Drop a funny picture and she'd become you for a week.
A cult and you guys are all gonna be a part of it. The first thing I want to start doing is victim of the week.
Harmless, until it wasn't, because Gigi didn't just post one video. She encouraged comments, let followers help decide rules, and even floated ideas like sacrificing your pet photos. It wasn't framed as dark, it was ironic. But irony has a short shelf life on TikTok. The internet loves commitment. What looked like cosplay turned into belief. In just hours, the cult had a name, a leader, and rituals. Not pretend ones, real ones, some say. The growth was exponential. Within days, Children of the Waning Star had its own emoji language, fingerprint and star, used to identify followers. There was even talk of a monthly sacrifice, where users would comment photos of their pets or personal stories. Still joking, right? Not exactly. Fans began reporting sightings of a mysterious entity tied to the Waning Star. Others claimed hallucinations, and TikToks surfaced of members performing strange dances, hooded in black, whispering to invisible spirits. What was once a fandom began to resemble a following. Cosplay had turned to conviction, and whether Gigi meant for it to happen or not, her voice, her face, her vibe became the symbol, and it was only getting darker. Then came the tipping point. A viral image hit TikTok, a memorial post for a dog named Chica, dated 2022-2025, captioned, "I hated to do this, but I needed to, for the children of the Waning Star." The community split. Some said it was obviously fake, others weren't so sure. Was it satire? Was it a real confession? No one could prove it, but the fear it spread was very real. Comments poured in, some horrified, others role-playing along. The line between troll and truth collapsed, and more posts surfaced. Blood on notebooks, symbols carved into skin, users begging to be seen by the entity. Shock turned into suspicion, and suddenly everyone wanted to know, was this still a bit or something worse? This is where it spiraled fast. Phase 2 began with whispers. Users claiming they felt a presence after posting cult symbols. Some joked about leaving offerings, others didn't sound like they were joking at all. One TikTok shows a hooded figure dancing in a candlelit room, eyes glazed, repeating a chant about the entity. Another clip, a teen scribbling symbols onto their skin in marker, saying it felt right. It looked like cosplay, but it felt like something more. Then came the shrines, makeshift altars, crystals, bloodied tissues. Users begging in comments to be noticed by Gigi.
About starting a cult soon. No, you guys are going to be in the documentary about cyberbullying a girl from rumors caused by groupthink and fear-mongering. Users, you can still tell who's who because of the star next to it. So congratulations, once you fall asleep, I'm going to sneak into your home and carve it into your skin.
When asked what they were doing, some replied, "Fulfilling my role in the prophecy. Belief can bloom in the void." And online, where irony lives long enough, it turns into ritual. Then came the video that changed everything. A young user, visibly shaken, claimed the cult had pushed them into psychosis. They said they had worshipped Gigi, that the entity spoke to them, that they relapsed, that they spilled blood on purpose. And when they left the cult, they craved to go back like an animal. Some viewers thought it was performance. Others were terrified, because if even one person believed all that, then what was this really turning into? Internet fiction doesn't mean fake belief. Even if Gigi never asked for worship, the cult identity and the strange devotion it inspired was now moving far beyond her original control. She created the spark. The wildfire lit itself. As the spiral grew, so did the fear. Ex-members started speaking out, saying they had received death threats for leaving. Some were doxxed, phone numbers leaked, accounts spammed, told they were traitors. One even begged in a video, "Please stop, I was just trying to have fun. I thought it was a profile picture trend." They weren't being dramatic. This wasn't just mean comments, it was obsessive behavior from other fans of a fake cult. Fandom can turn on itself fast. When an online community stops being fun and starts punishing people who leave, that's no longer a fandom, that's fear. And Gigi, she hadn't spoken up yet, but everyone was watching her now. The next phase wasn't just mental, it was visual. TikToks began appearing of real shrines, candles, cryptic drawings, offerings to the entity. Some used fake blood, others didn't clarify. One showed a hand-drawn sigil next to a razor blade, captioned only, "I gave my piece today." In a Discord server, not even run by Gigi, members began writing lore about the entity. Others claimed they'd seen it. One user posted coordinates to a Utah canyon saying a goat would be sacrificed. Mods banned them, but not before screenshots spread. Lore became liturgy. Most participants weren't serious, but some clearly were. The scariest part? Gigi wasn't orchestrating it. The cult was evolving without her. So now that we've seen the chaos unfold, what do you think? Did Gigi build something dangerous? Or did we, as a platform, push a joke until it broke? Drop a like if you think she lost control, or comment if you think the mob made this worse than it ever had to be. After 5 days of silence and spiraling chaos, Gigi spoke. And it wasn't what people expected. She looked straight into the camera, no character voice, no irony, and said, "I'm not an influencer. I was just feeling unhinged and posted a video on my birthday. Now there's 150,000 of you." She explained she never wanted money, never wanted control, just to make a space where people could feel seen. No subscriptions, no initiations, no sacrifices. She even discouraged rituals, addressed mental health, and promised to start posting resources about cult awareness. Not everything viral starts with a plan, and yet many still called her manipulative, said her kindness was a tactic, but what else could she say? And this is where the internet loses the plot. Because while Gigi begged people to stop self-harming, critics accused her of double bluffing. While she called it a community, they said she was masking a cult. But here's the kicker. Her harshest critics began doing the exact same thing. They formed their own countergroups, matching profile pictures, anti-cult collectives, memes, irony, and anyone who disagreed labeled brainwashed. You can't fight a fire with more fire. If Gigi's to blame for what her fans do, aren't her critics responsible for the hate their followers spread too? Or are we just picking sides and rewriting rules depending on who we like more? When fans infiltrated the unofficial Children of the Waning Star Discord, they expected chaos. But what they found was weirdly ordinary. Welcome messages, inside jokes, emojis. Some users wrote lore about the entity, others roleplayed as star children. And then came Ash, a user claiming they'd sacrifice a goat in Utah. They posted coordinates, they roleplayed as a cult enforcer. Admins banned them in minutes. Still, screenshots spread. The internet took it as proof that Gigi had lost control. But Gigi wasn't even in the server. She didn't make it, didn't moderate it, and didn't endorse the post. The cult wasn't being led anymore. It was leading itself. It got worse. Someone impersonated Gigi in the Discord. Same username, same photo. They posted in favor of sacrifices, talked like they were the true leader, and baited younger members into sharing disturbing confessions. No verification, no moderation, just chaos. This is the danger of virality without structure. When a trend explodes in splinters, anyone can claim authority, and some will use that to exploit others. The scariest voice isn't always the loudest. It's the one pretending to be you. And for Gigi, that voice spoke with her face and tone, but none of her intentions. The dog post had already set nerves on edge. So when a user claimed they'd offered their dog's soul to Gigi, people freaked. But here's the truth, the dog was already dead. There was no confirmed act of violence. It was a roleplay post, likely done for shock value. No blood, no body. Still, that didn't stop people from spiraling. Online horror spreads faster than online fact. Even when confronted with context, many still believed a real animal had been killed in Gigi's name. Because the aesthetic was dark, because the word cult had been used, and because people wanted to believe it. Some fans were just playing, but others weren't. Videos appeared of users carving the symbol into their arms. One said the entity told them to. Another claimed they had to obey or they'd lose their place in the afterlife. It was no longer about Gigi. It was about what people projected onto the idea of her. Delusion doesn't need a leader, just a framework. And in a platform designed to reward obsession, even a satirical cult can become a spiritual spiral. Some creators blamed her. Others warned she was attracting unstable followers, and no one knew how to stop it. Dark lipstick, cryptic captions, haunting piano loops. The Children of the Waning Star didn't just go viral because of lore, it went viral because it looked cool, and TikTok loves cool. The visual aesthetic of mystical melancholy hits hard for Gen Z. Emo cults, ARGs, horrorcore, all already trend-rich categories. So when Gigi leaned into that tone, even just for clicks, it wasn't hard for people to believe she meant it. Pretty packaging doesn't mean pure content, but when people start believing your vibe has a message, even if you didn't mean it, you no longer control the story. Here's where it gets weird. A group of critics, furious with the cult, began organizing. They used shared profile pictures, a Reddit thread, even their own awakening videos. They said Gigi was brainwashing kids and that they were here to stop her, but then they began role-playing too, calling themselves the cleansed, accusing ex-members of being spies, even joking about hexes. They became the exact thing they were fighting, just with different branding. Moral panic has no brakes. When fear drives your community, you can't help but mirror what you hate. And in the end, it's just two sides playing pretend while real people get hurt. This isn't new. We've seen it with other creators. Belle Delphine, Dream, Nico Cotto. When fans become too attached, any shift in tone becomes gospel. Any silence becomes a message. Every post becomes canon. Gigi wasn't running a cult, but she was the face of one. And when the followers feel closer to you than you are to them, they start filling in the blanks. The internet doesn't need leaders, it needs symbols. And Gigi, she became one, whether she liked it or not, whether she asked for it or not. She was the Waning Star. You'd think 5 days of chaos would be enough, but the story's still trending. The edits haven't stopped. New prophecies are being written. And Gigi's page, still growing. Why? Because TikTok needs stories like this. Good girl turns evil. Harmless joke becomes horror. It's a template, a tale, a ready-made controversy to fill the FYP with panic and passion. We crave chaos with a main character. And this week, that main character was a girl who made a Levi X Alvin TikTok and wanted to feel something on her birthday. Welcome to the internet. So what if it really was just a joke? What if Gigi was exactly what she said she was? A regular girl with a niche sense of humor and a phone. What if the fans ran with it and we all just watched too closely? Because if that's true, then this wasn't a cult at all. It was a mirror, and we didn't like what we saw. A generation desperate for meaning, a platform addicted to fear, a fandom that doesn't know when to stop, and a girl who thought she was being funny until everyone else decided it wasn't. This wasn't a story about blood sacrifices or real cults. It was about the internet's ability to turn aesthetics into ideology and jokes into judgment. So next time you see a TikTok with matching emojis and spooky music, ask yourself this: are you joining a fandom or feeding a fire? Subscribe for more deep dives like this. And check out our next video on another viral moment that exploded overnight and left chaos in its wake. This video is for entertainment and commentary purposes only. No claims are made about the mental health or intentions of any individual shown or discussed. Always consult qualified experts when dealing with matters of harm, delusion, or safety.